Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a life update with none other than this little companion, Ray, who you might have seen appear on way too many Instagram stories and videos. But I realized it's been a full year since I actually sat down and just did an impromptu discussion about life. And there's been a few reasons for that. I think there's been a lot of, unfortunately, like negative things, which I won't share too much detail on today, but I will kind of give you the brief Cliff Notes version. There's also been some incredibly positive things that have happened, and I kind of want to go over with you, I guess, training, nutrition, career, business, and just hopefully some valuable insights that you guys can take away. Perhaps if you're going through something similar from a relationship perspective, maybe you're struggling with something in your business or your career and you're just feeling absolutely and utterly lost, or maybe you just need some of the takeaways from the training and nutrition advice that I share with you from today's update. So let's go back to November last year when I did this last update. So I relocated from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale, which I think in some ways has been an absolute blessing. It's been really nice to get a change of scenery, kind of step away potentially from some of the, I guess, relationships and just the environment that I know was not serving me at all. And to just have some breathing time, I think, to navigate where to go next. I think some of you might have experienced in your own personal circumstances where if you feel like you're suffocated and trapped, trying to think clearly becomes a struggle. So I've really enjoyed getting down here to the beach. I absolutely love it. I am fortunate enough to have a beautiful home here, which I'm trying to now lease. I'll come to that story here in a moment. But it's certainly given me a new perspective and a lot of time to kind of get my ducks in a row. So I will say I am still trying to get divorced. Believe it or not, that is still unresolved. And I think if you had asked me last year when I kind of stepped away from my last relationship or my marriage, do you think you'll still be married this time next year? Absolutely not. So that has been an ongoing, I guess, point of contention. It's been really stressful, actually. I think anybody can probably, or who's been through those circumstances before, knows the psychological stress and struggle that often brings. And I think, for me, having had multiple businesses kind of tied up within a marriage really makes it tough. So with all of that, it's still unresolved. And what's been really difficult about everything is that I think it has really helped me appreciate patience. So that's one major positive lesson, despite how difficult the last 12 months have been, that I can say I'm so grateful for. Stressful actually does not cater to how I guess hard and difficult things have been. But I'm somebody that, I have a massive ambition and huge dreams. And I know, the environment that I want to create. I know the products that I know I can develop. And I know, I think when you have a vision, then anything can be done. So I will continue to pursue all of those things. It might just be at a slightly slower pace than perhaps I am used to. So we've got a wonderful team. I have several people that have been working right by my side, and I'm going to give a shout out right now to Alexandra and Terry, who are part of our all-female team in continuing this vision and this dream. Also, the person behind the camera right now has also been extremely pivotal in kind of keeping the ship moving whilst it's being built. So I would not be able to have done what I have done in the last 12 months if it wasn't for, I guess, the support of people that kind of share in the same vision. So that's kind of one part that's been a little bit stressful. That's kind of the life stuff. I think tacked onto that is and this is a really good segue into, my training and my nutrition. When you have significant change in life, whether it is relationship change, career change, physical relocation. So I can put my hand up for all of those things. Like one in isolation is usually pretty stressful. But to have all of them all at once has been really tough. And because of that, it's meant that my training and my nutrition has suffered beyond measure. And again, I've had moments, don't get me wrong, where I've just sat and bawled my eyes out, as you probably would expect when you're really stressed out. But I've also, again, trying to look at this from a positive perspective, and that is, I don't know that I would have ever slowed down with my training or my nutrition had I not been forced to. So I guess to give you some context for what I'm saying is, having come from, professional athlete status, competing at world championships, doing everything, training all the time, so disciplined, so diligent, as anybody watching who's done competitions, maybe you're a professional athlete, maybe you're aspiring to that, the amount of work that goes into training. It's a full-time job or a part-time job on top of everything else that you do. So when stress happens, you have to be able to pivot, and the only thing within my control has been to let go of something else. It's just, that's your reality, right? So I've had to say no to training 5 days a week. I've had to say no to having great, nutrition that would be, dietitian approved. None of those things have been, feasible or realistic for me. So I've had to have some really big shifts in my expectations for training, and also how well I can nourish my body. In fact, just getting enough nourishment has probably been one of the most challenging things, when my hours, no joke, have been 80 to 100 for the last year straight, just to make sure that I don't sink. And I won't sink, I will always swim. I hope that can stay the feature of my story here on in. But it's been really, really busy. So I have not been consistent with training at all. I have continued to put together programs. Obviously, I want you guys more than ever to succeed. So I love what I do. I'm so passionate about what I do. I think if I have a choice to make between writing a new program for our training app, for our upcoming challenges, but that's what I love to do. Like, there's nothing more, I guess, comforting and reassuring if I go in and I see the feedback at the end of our challenges and people are like, oh my God, these programs saved my life. They were, I was in a really bad place. This helped me get back on track. It gave me some consistency. I can trust these programs. I know they're going to get me great results. I would rather do that than potentially spend an hour, in the gym training for myself. So normally I've had the opportunity to do both of those things. And right now I haven't. So I've kind of prioritized career and finances for obvious reasons. So yeah, I think my average training for the last 12 months has probably been on average like 3 times per week. And I think if you'd asked me, I don't know, a couple of years ago perhaps, do I think I could maintain my muscle mass just training 3 times a week? I probably would have laughed and said, yeah, right. Or I would have been really worried about, oh, my energy expenditure is going to be way down. I'm going to put on so much body fat. I'm going to be really unhealthy because of that. And I'm sure that I would have just been a mess. But I, again, haven't had that choice. And it's been really cool to, I guess, live that lifestyle where I'm only able to get to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, if that. Like this week, I think I've trained twice. I was meant to train today, and again, I've prioritized all of Sunday filming, and that's because I honestly want to bring that and deliver that stuff to you guys. So I think I've maintained my muscle mass. I actually was in the lab at University of South Florida with Dr. Samuel Buckner, who is the professor and runs the exercise science lab. And we were doing some measurements from, how long ago was it? Like 2019? 2019, yes, fact check. So what was really interesting, I've actually grown significantly in my quads. I've maintained my back. In fact, I might have grown a little bit in my mid back, like subscap. Lost size in my biceps, but that was so intentional. I haven't done a bicep curl unless I like tagged along on someone else's workout and they're like, we're doing biceps. So I might have trained 7 sets this last year on biceps. So it would make sense that I've lost size there, but that's good because I have some goals coming up that I want to talk about too. But it just blows my mind that with a full year of not training consistently, but still when I train, it's not like I'm in there just, fart-assing around. Like I really make sure that I'm giving the best for that given day. That might not be my personal PRs when I squat or deadlift or bench press, but for my, present state of being, I know that I'm working within that, proximity to failure. I'm getting pretty close to, my best. So I think that's really great information, and it probably aligns with some of the research as well that would suggest that it takes a lot to see significant loss in lean body mass. If you're still eating an adequate amount of protein, training 3 times a week, whilst it's not my highest training volume where I might have previously trained 6 times a week, reducing that volume down to 3 has not really made any significant negatives, which I'm just like, wow, I don't think I would have ever given myself that kind of permission, unless I was forced to. So again, taking that blessing and recognizing the positive and the value that it's had. On that same line of thought, what's a macro? So I've obviously spent the better part of my career talking to you guys about nutrition, flexible dieting, hitting protein targets, setting carb targets, fat targets, which I endeavor to continue to share with and educate you guys on. But as far as my capacity as an individual to do that and flexible diet and track macros, I think if I pulled up Carbon right now and had a look at my last 12 months of tracking, there's probably like 4 days of tracking, and it might have been because I was just putting something on paper to share with you guys, like any recipes that I put up on my stories. Obviously I'm like, okay, well, I'm not just gonna waste people's time and show them this great meal without giving some value. So like I will still do that and will continue to do that. But as far as how I've had to navigate, it's like when you've got 10 things that are essential, urgent, and important, tracking macros has fallen well beyond, that category. It's kind of been non-essential, not important overall. Obviously, I make good choices. I'm still extremely mindful with what I choose to fuel my body with. And thankfully, having a dietitian background, I know what's in most foods, if not all, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. But I've just been really mindful about what I choose. And again, unless I was forced into this situation, I don't know that I would believe that I could actually maintain the physique that I have now and stay as healthy, thinking about my blood biomarkers, as I've been able to, which is just, I'm so happy that I've had an opportunity to not be so rigid and flexible diet. And I think a lot of the work that we're doing now with our coaching clients, so this is our team as well, yes, there's so much value in learning the skill of flexible dieting and tracking macros. I think everybody should at some point take the time to learn about what's in the foods that they like to consume and how that's going to impact your health more than anything. But do I think that it's something that we should do forever and indefinitely? No. Now, there might be some people that do track macros and it doesn't faze them a single iota. And I say, good on you. Like, that's awesome. If you don't have 1,000 stresses and responsibilities and obligations that afford you the time to do that until you're 50, that's honestly great. But there are also so many people that really struggle with, managing their time, and tracking macros adds to their stress. So to be able to have an alternative where you can eat mindfully and be intentional with your foods, but not necessarily plug them into a training application or a nutrition application, I think is also really valuable, thinking about the context of somebody's quality of life. So I would not have been able to get through the last 12 months if I was still tracking macros. So I want anybody that is listening that might be wondering, gosh, or feeling really stressed out and perhaps in a little bit of inner turmoil about, tracking macros. if you can, is there a way out? Is there a possibility of maintaining a healthy body weight? And again, I want to preface that with, there is such a wide span of weights, body fat percentages that are still very, very healthy. And I think we tend to get, I guess, misguided by what's shown on social media as healthy. And again, I've probably said it in multiple update videos, back when I used to track, that some of the healthiest clients that I've worked with might have a body fat percentage of 25% or somewhere around that range. Whereas some people that have been, you know, stage lean and really shredded, have the unhealthiest, I guess, body. And I mean that in regards to blood biomarkers and then also their mental health. And I know you guys are probably familiar with my journey, and that would be having a history or 15-year-long history or suffering with an eating disorder. And whilst my physical body, as far as my blood work and my fitness, you know, cardiovascular strength or otherwise, it's probably been really high, but I also know the toll that that had on my overall health and well-being because of the way that it impacted me psychologically. So those have been two really big changes for me this year that I am beyond grateful for having taken place, because I don't know I would have stepped away from tracking macros or being so regimented with my training had I not been kind of forced into this scenario. Anyhow, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned, I guess, this little wonder dog, Ray, and how I came to find her. And the reason that I came to find her is because this guy over here, this is Samuel, say hi.
Hello.
Happens to be the person that I am dating. So, Sam, I feel like you would be the best fit to talk about how we actually met, which is kind of fun, I think.
Yeah, I met Holly, I suppose 6 years ago, because she came in for, I run a muscle growth, muscle physiology lab, and she came in to have her muscles measured for a case study, which we followed up on 6 years later, so we have some pretty cool longitudinal data. But yeah, I met Holly measuring her muscles years ago, and we reconnected more recently because she was working on a like a textbook of skeletal muscle growth, and that's kind of my wheelhouse, my expertise. So we reconnected to, I guess, help on that book, and yeah, I guess things took off from there.
So yeah, he's like a new addition to my life, as is Ray. So that's been fun. And I also mentioned that I'm trying to lease my, not that I want to leave Fort Lauderdale. I love it here. It is so peaceful. I love the community. I can walk pretty much everywhere. Even my gym is like 2 minutes away. So it's been convenient, but it also sucks trying to, okay, hands up here who's dated somebody long distance. I mean, I've also done that overseas. And it really sucks when there's a 4-hour drive between you, and flying is just annoying. I think by the time that you actually get through airport security, and you get on the plane, and then because Florida is the lightning capital, I guess, is that, how do you say it? It's the lightning, I feel like it's a lightning capital. Well, you grew up here.
Lightning capital?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of lightning.
Could be.
Could be.
I don't know.
I guess when you fly, since we're just going from one side to the other, it's like East Coast to West, you end up just getting put in a holding pattern until there's no lightning so that you can land your plane. So it ends up taking 4 hours, even for a 45-minute flight. So for the reasons of convenience, I'm actually trying to lease this place. In fact, I think I have somebody leasing it soon. And I'm going to be moving back to Tampa. So that's going to be fun.
This is big boy.
Why don't we just show what's going by right now here, Mo? Welcome to a day in the life of Fort Lauderdale. So it's the boat show this weekend, guys. So this beautiful boat going by right now goes by every day or every other day, but this weekend...
That's my ride.
That's Sam's ride home. So...
That's how I get back and forth to Tampa.
There have just been flashing lights right now, so we're all like strobed out over here. Is the whole family here? Yay! This is Jerry. He was my accidental cat purchase. I was actually having the house shown, and I just popped out for a bit and went to the pet store to pick up food and toys for this guy. And there is a cage in the middle of the pet store with kittens, and I'm like, oh God, I'm a sucker. So anyway, this one kitten, wherever he went, was so obsessed, like with trying to get my attention. And like I would go and put my hand up by the side of the cage, and he's just like, meow, like just wouldn't stop trying to get pats. And he reminded me of me because he totally has ADD. He was like ping-ponging around the whole cage. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. And I sang out to Sam, I was like, ask how much he is. So he's over by the counter. And they were like, he's free. So I have a free cat, and he's such a cute little boy. I just love animals. I could have all the animals in the world and there wouldn't be enough. Anyway, I want to wrap this video up. So first off, we have a brand new book coming up right around Thanksgiving. So the Black Friday through Cyber Monday sales, we have an amazing cookbook. We've just spent the last 3 days straight shooting for it. I'm out of words for how many delicious recipes. I mean, some of you that have seen my Instagram would have seen me filming. Yo, they're badass and extremely macro-friendly for those of you that are still tracking and are trying to proactively pursue a health goal. So keep a lookout for that. Please go and take a look at my new book, The Complete Exercise Guide to Muscle Hypertrophy. It covers everything you need to know about muscle growth through exercise. We cover how muscle grows, I guess the mechanisms for how muscle grows. We look at training volumes, we look at set number, we look at rest and recovery times, we look at resistance training through blood flow restriction. What else am I missing, Sam? You probably can help me with this because I've talked about it way too many times. Fatigue, muscle memory, fancy training methods, training intensity, periodization. Oh my gosh, it's just full of everything. So please check the links in the description below. You can grab the book from my website, and it will soon be available any place that you can buy books. And then I have to save the best till last. Our coaching team, the girls are awesome. They definitely deserve the attention. They spend so much time putting together evidence-based content. So please take a look at the Team Biabody Instagram page. Follow their individual accounts. They're posting daily. And if you are somebody who is currently struggling with your nutrition or training, and you want to make big changes to your life, not just physically, but mentally, look no further. The girls are awesome. I stand by them. Please go and check it out. I think that's about all the plugging that I need to do for today. So thank you for tuning in. I know it's been a hot minute. Hopefully I can start to do more of these. But until then, please stay tuned with my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel if you're not following. And I guess I'll see you next time. Are you ready to take on 2024 by storm when it comes to your fitness and nutrition? Are you tired of trying over and over again to make fitness work for you, where it feels like you're forcing fitness into your life? Then join us for our Love Yourself Fit transformation, where you will fall in love with your new fit lifestyle. Our team of evidence-based coaches will help guide and educate you with our customized nutrition approach and weekly one-on-one check-ins. Not only will you gain access to our app-based training programs, along with our private fitness Facebook page. And for those who join our 12-week Love Yourself Fit program, you'll have a chance at winning prizes, which include a grand prize of $1,500. Get started now and make a commitment to yourself and achieve a fit and amazing you in 2024. You can send us a message or head to our website to learn more.